Hey there, welcome. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is an opportunity in your day to stop whatever you're doing and explore how to receive fulfillment in your life by unlearning struggle. So today we're going to talk about how to reclaim your power or how to feel powerful when you don't have the answers you're seeking. So I'd like you to think about, hey Julie, good to see you. I'd like you to think about an area in your life where you're seeking answers. Okay. And I actually decided to, as a warm up, to write down some of the questions that I have been hearing some of my clients seeking answers around and see if that helps you connect with where in your life you're seeking answers. So could be questions like, where's the money going to come from? Or will he ask me to marry him? Or how do I get him to ask me to marry him? Or how do I study for these tests? I have a client who's a law student and was approaching his first law school midterms ever. And he's like, I don't even know how to study for this. How do I study for this so that I get good grades? I've never done this before. How do I get Sally or John or Jane Doe to forgive me? Hey, Karina, good to see you. How do I prevent that thing from ever happening to me again? So those are some of the questions where we're seeking answers and we don't feel really powerful. So take a moment so that you can make this Rise and Receive really relevant to you and kind of pay attention to what kinds of questions you're seeking answers to, especially if these are places that you're feeling particularly powerless. Okay, and then sit back because I think you're going to find today's Rise and Receive really helpful. In the meantime, if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I mentor ambitious, goal-oriented people to surpass their limits with ease and speed. And the way that I do this is that I teach a singular, very natural skill set that I call receiving. In other words, I teach people how to receive because, as I like to say, you cannot receive what you most want if you don't know how to receive, and most ambitious, goal-oriented people are lacking this skill. Most ambitious, goal-oriented people have the skills related to hard work, pursuing, seeking, going out and getting what they want. But when it comes to stopping all of that hard work to actually receive what they've been working so hard for, not so familiar. So then what do? We work even harder. However, when you learn to receive, again, its own skill set, supernatural, but unfamiliar to ambitious, goal-oriented people, when you tap into that skill set, you can then open up that upper limit, that glass ceiling, and really receive what's been waiting for you. Okay, so that's who I am. That's what this is about. And today at Rise and Receive, I really want to go deeper into the upper limit that gets created when we're seeking answers and we can't find them and we feel powerless. Because basically we think, I'm going to feel powerful. I'll go beyond where I feel stuck if I get the answers. But there's a catch-22 in this, which is when you're seeking answers to things that are unanswerable or unknown, then how do you feel powerful? So let's dive into that. I like to illuminate blind spots. Okay, and so I like to define a blind spot as when your current point of view hides an essential insight. So when your point of view is, I need to find answers in order to get what I want or in order to feel powerful, your blind spot occurs because you don't actually understand what you're looking for. You're not looking for answers. What you're looking for is safety. And I like to call this the safety blind spot. So what's the safety blind spot? The safety blind spot occurs when you are trying to control things that are beyond your control. And the way we try to control things that are beyond our control is to figure it out. If I can just figure it out, if I can get that answer, then I'll be happy, I'll feel safe, I'll feel in control. In other words, it's this whole sort of a smokescreen for what you really want, which is that you want to feel safe. So let's go back to these sample questions I was talking about. Where's the money going to come from? Well, if I could find an answer to that, then I could be, I feel safe, the money's coming, right? Will he ask me to marry him? Well, if I can get a clear answer and I can get a crystal ball, then I won't feel vulnerable anymore. I'll feel safe. I'll feel loved. I'll feel like, okay, I'm going to have what I want. And deeper underneath that is, I'm worthy. Maybe there's a worthiness thing. I feel safe now. Okay. How do I study for these tests that I don't know how to study for? I've never done it before. Well, we did a whole bunch of fun coaching around that, because it's like, let's not make the goal to pass the tests. Let's make the goal to discover what taking tests in law school is like. Let's make the goal to just survive your first set of midterms. And you can do that. You can survive taking tests, right? So we changed what we're looking for, because the safety was not going to be found, because the outcome couldn't be guaranteed. Okay. How do I get Sally to forgive me? Well, if you're waiting to feel better until Sally forgives you, and having somebody, making somebody forgive you, making anybody do anything is impossible, you can't fulfill that answer. You can't feel safe. So your power is always going to be outside of you, waiting for somebody else to change their behavior. How do you reclaim your power? We're going to talk about that. Okay. But really what you're looking for is safety. And how do I prevent that from ever happening again? Again, answers that you can't find answers to, because there are things that are beyond our control. So that's the safety blind spot. What you're looking for truly when you're seeking answers in this sort of context is you're seeking safety. So how do we open the flow gates? How do we reclaim our power? So the first step is that we understand what we're really looking for, which is safety. The second thing is to understand is that you cannot control the uncontrollable. There are certain things in life that are beyond our control. There's certain things in life that are beyond our power, that we are naturally powerless to certain things. However, there are things that are in our control, and there are things that we have power over. As we start to tease that out, we already begin to reclaim our power by not trying to find it somewhere it doesn't exist. Okay? And again, understanding that we're seeking answers because we want to control outcomes. And when you're focusing on controlling outcomes, you might have some power, you might not have other power. So, reclaiming your power. Let's talk about where you do have power here. Number one, I'm going to invite you to consider something pretty wild and crazy, which is to do the opposite of what you want to do. So the first thing is you're seeking answers. And your mind is now narrowing in and hunting, seeking, just like the hunter. So the opposite would be stop the seeking, stop the hunting, and instead of narrowing in, looking for that thing, you're going to do the reverse. You're going to lean back and open up. Just open up. And when you play with that idea of like, okay, I'm just going to stop seeking. I'm going to stop hunting. I'm going to stand where I am. I'm going to lean back and I'm going to open up. Your vision now, instead of being in seeking mode, becomes available to see what is already here. You immediately shift from intention to invitation, and you become an invitation to receive answers, possibilities, insights, awarenesses that were always here, but you couldn't see them because you were in seeking mode versus seeing mode. You were in hunting, pursuing mode versus open invitation mode. Okay? So stop the seeking, take a breath, be in your body, and just open up. So what does it mean to open up? Open up is just be willing. Be willing. Be curious. Be listening, seeing, just taking in what is here, even if it feels like it has nothing to do with the answer you're seeking. Because once you become open, you can see what's here. You can see what's here. Number 2, willingness. Willingness is one of the most powerful ways to become the embodiment of invitation. Intention is outer focus. I have my sights on a target. Its energy is going out. out, out. Okay. So what you're really doing in consciousness is you're saying everything that I want is out there. It's separate from me. You want to bring things into you, oneness with you, closeness to you. That's invitation. It's saying, come, you are welcome, you are welcome. And willingness is the language of invitation. So whatever you're seeking answers for, you can start becoming willing to see, hear, receive the answers that are right here, right now. To receive solutions in expected and unexpected ways. To receive insights, to receive peace, whatever it is you want to feel, whatever it is you want to know, simply start focusing on what you're willing to feel, see, discover, experience, instead of what's the answer to my question. Okay, so for example, where's the money coming from? Right? If that's your question, that's what you're hunting. That's the only thing that you're going to be able to see is an answer to that question. When you stop asking that and you say, I am willing to receive money from expected and unexpected channels. I am willing to discover solutions to my money concerns in ways better than I ever imagined. Do you see how your focus opens up to receive way more than if you're just hunting an answer to where's the money coming from? Same thing. Will he ask me to marry him? If that's what you're hunting for, this is what's happening. All of the other wonderful stuff happening in your relationship, you can't even experience it because this is all you can see. But if you open it up and say, I am willing, and think about what's the feeling you want. I am willing to feel the security, the love, the sense of homeness that I have in this relationship right now, under all conditions. I'm willing to even imagine that I could live happily ever after, even if he doesn't ask me to marry him, to feel everything that I want to feel in a relationship in expected and unexpected ways. Do you see how this completely opens you up to things answers and solutions and possibilities that you never could have imagined? You become the embodiment of willingness. Okay, so that's the second thing that you can do when you're feeling powerless to feeling powerful. You have power to place your attention on the things that feel good and invite what you want versus things that feel bad and make you focus on the lack of something. Okay, and the third thing that I love questions because questions are the other form of invitation, just open-ended questions, is ask yourself when you're feeling powerless, ask yourself, where do I have power here? So you change your focus from looking for answers you don't have and feeling powerless, which is going to give you more of that because what you focus upon flourishes, to where do I have power in this situation? Okay, so like the law student said, let's talk about where you do have power here because we don't know we definitely can't guarantee the outcome on those tests. So you have the power to experiment with different ways of studying. You have the power to talk to somebody who's already been through first year of law school and ask for helpful tips, right? You have the power to change your expectation. So instead of how do I pass these midterms, says, all right, how do I survive my first year of law school? Or how do I feel peaceful taking exams when I feel anxious? So now we start to look at where the power is and the answers that are here available that he does have control over receiving into his life. Okay. By the way, he took the tests and we're waiting to hear, but he felt so good about it as opposed to feeling anxious going in. So ask the question, where do I have power here? And then be willing to just be in the question. Because what's often the kind of the default that happens is we ask a question like that, and what happens? We go back into seeking answers. So what are the answers to where I have power here? Instead, I'm going to invite you to be like the majestic tree instead of the hunter, and just be walking around saying, okay, where do I have power here? You ask it once, and now you're going to listen. You're open, you're seeing, you're listening, and see what answers come to you. Just listen. You might not get an answer right away about where you have power here, but now you're asking the right question. It might come later in the day. It might come in a few days, but just stay open and receptive to the answers and watch what comes to you. You might get an inspiration to talk to somebody. You might hear something on the news or the radio or be surfing the internet, and a YouTube thing will just come into your view, and all of a sudden you'll get an insight. That's what being open to seeing what is already here allows you to experience answers that were always here, but you couldn't see them because you literally had blinders on. Okay, so a review of the 3 things to reclaim your power when you're seeking answers, that the answers you want, but you don't have them. Number 1, do the opposite. Stop seeking, become open. Number 2, embody willingness. Okay, look at what you're willing to experience and feel and just start making statements of willingness. And number 3, ask the new question, where do I have power here? So, to wrap this up in a bow, I wanted to show you the card that I pulled today, which inspired this. So this card is from the Receive Oracle cards. You can get your own with a whole bunch of receiving wisdom to help you receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle. And this is the willingness mantra that you can practice whenever you are feeling powerless because you are not getting the answers, you're seeking answers, and you're not getting the answers to the questions that you have. Just stop the seeking. This is called Soothe Your Need to Know. And here's your affirmation. I am willing to find safety in the unknown because what I know is limited at best. I am willing to find safety in the unknown because what I know is limited at best. What your mind knows and can knows is so limited compared to the wisdom and the kindness that life is always offering if you stop the seeking, be willing to find safety in the unknown. Just imagine believing that not knowing is actually a good thing. It's a wonderful thing because you can receive answers beyond the conditioning of your mind. That really is possible. It's a practice. It's the practice of being versus doing, receiving versus pursuing, I should say, but it is available to you. Awareness is the key to everything. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please like, please share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And if you're on YouTube, click the red subscribe button. I'll keep informing you each time I release a video. Beyond that, if you'd like to learn more about receiving and join other people who are walking this path of receiving more and better and struggling less, join the Receive community here on Facebook. I'll include a link above or below. Just search on Receive community, you'll find it, and I'd love to see you there and keep supporting you with this very simple, very natural, very powerful skill, how to receive. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.